All right, welcome. We are heading towards the new year, 2022, and I'm really looking forward to 2022. Looking forward to getting this year over. 2 years now in COVID, so that's I'm sure that sucks for everybody. I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels like that, but just trying out some new software here, and we'll see how this works with Zoom. Um, in the future, we're going to be doing more podcasts for the Gray Stage podcast. So we are going to do a little test run with Zoom. So I'll be curious to see how that works out as well. And what I wanted to also kind of test out was a little screen share here and see how that works out as well. And I figured one of the one of the ways I could do that was to kind of let you all know what's going on in this world here. So here we go. Okay, screen one. Let's do share sound as well. Optimize for video clip. Not sure what that means. So anyways, welcome to the live test run here, and hopefully you can see this screen. We'll definitely find out. If you go to the greatstage.wordpress.com, been doing a little changes. Oh, gotta make sure you spell correctly. That was important. GRAYStage.com. Oh, still gotta get maybe I should put my glasses on. That may help so I can actually see. So I'm working with two screens here too, which I usually do not do. So again, just test run here. Appreciate everyone taking their time out and of your day. I know how busy we all are. So busy, like busy little bees with everything that we're doing. There we are, the Gray Stage. Researching David Crowley. So there's an RSS feed, which I've never really been a big fan of, but you can always sign up there. First thing you'll see is the link to the book. Click on the link. This will take you directly to the book. And if you click on this image, it will download the book right there. You just go over here in the upper corner, hit save or print. You can always print as a PDF. A lot of people don't really know they can do the print as a PDF. So just go right there to print, Microsoft Print to PDF, and boom, then that will print it out as a PDF. So in case you didn't know about that. And there it is. That is the whole book, 234 pages. That is the most current version. I don't believe there will be another updated version, but I'm still planning on a worldwide distribution release, and that should be coming up here within the next month or so. So if you have not read the book, if you don't have no idea what I'm talking about, David Crowley was a filmmaker who was accused of murdering his wife, his 5-year-old daughter, and then committing suicide. And this all happened within 24 hours, if not less. The accusation started. The Apple Valley Police Department spent a whole year trying to prove David Crowley guilty. In the end, they could not prove him guilty. And they just decided that since they couldn't find any evidence that anybody else was guilty, that it must be David. And so that's pretty much where the case was at when they closed it 1 year later in 2016. The bodies were found on January 17, 2015, and the case was closed months later. And it's just been, the more documents that we've been getting, the more it just shows why David is innocent. So you can read this book, the free PDF. If you do want to get a physical copy, go to the available now text, click on that, and that will take you to the link where you can purchase a physical copy right now if you want to. 234 pages. So the first publication date was September 5th, 2019. The podcast started a couple months later in January of 2020. So we began 2020, and then here we are almost January 2022. That will mark the 2-year span of the podcast. And one of the things that happens when you go live, you should always remember to plug in your laptop. So that way, well, I guess we're not live, we're live to tape, I should say, live to tape or whatever. If you plan on doing anything where you're not going to make any edits, always a good idea to plug in a power source. So I'm going to do that right now. So there's another tip, giving you a couple tips here. I can give you a ton of different tips on what you should and shouldn't do when it comes to modern technology. Okay, so that is the book. If you do want to purchase that, I think the reason why I couldn't find it in other countries, I don't know if I have to be signed in or, but I think depending on what country you're in, that's how it will kind of differentiate the prices, the pricings and all that. But so back to the website here. The next thing we have is we still have the most recent article. You notice I don't put out too many articles, but the most recent one we have here is the one about the fake police document. So if you want to read up on that, find the documents pretty quickly. The article hopefully will help you find that as well as the shows that we've done on it. I should add, no, I guess that's the only relevant show, Who Created a Fake Document. There's a few other YouTube shows I should probably add here too, and the audio version as well, because there is an audio version. So where does that take? Oh, it takes me to the Rumble. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I don't really mess around with Rumble too much, but probably should. And so there you can read the letter from the Apple Valley City Attorney. You can read the sworn affidavit from Detective Klokanos, just explaining why it is a fraudulent document. If you want to look at the fraudulent document, you can do that. And you can also view the real document. And then you can go to the show that we covered on this. I believe the show, only a 1 hour show. So
Hey everyone,
yeah, I
just some
definitely
more updates here
want to
for the
test the audio
fraudulent
on this
case.
too.
I'm just going to read some of these things here and then
Okay, so testing the audio on that, so hopefully that'll come through. But yeah, there's a few other cases a few other shows that I need to add to this document. So I'm glad I'm here. And then you can always go back anytime you just want to go back to the main web page, click on the gray stage text. That will take you back home. And the next one we have is David's day one journal. So that one is in there as well. Make sure you check that out. The paranormal recordings, this is still one that I have not made a video version of yet. So technically right now it's only on the web version, but hopefully soon I'll be able to make that as well. So that's just kind of some of the things that we'll be going over. And yeah, test that out as well. Great. All right, now back to Zoom. So again, you just never know what's going to happen. There's always things that are happening. So just got to be prepared for the best and hope for the best. That's what happens when you try to go live. And so just had this pause this recording. That's a great way to test this recording to see how that would work as well. So I'm going to go back to the screen share here and we'll see how this works. Oh, actually, I like this one better. Okay, so we're going to share this screen and let's see what we got there. So back to the paranormal. Yeah, so I still haven't had time to really do a paranormal video version. And I mean, I'll probably just end up just doing where I just playlist and just, I don't know, show some clips or something. I don't really know what to show maybe during this, but it just kind of reads through all of this anyway. So maybe it'll just go through all that. But I think it's about what, 72 minutes that we did back in April. And it was just a bonus show, so that may be worth watching for some people who are into that, into the paranormal aspect of it. But cheers. For those who aren't, yeah, that's nothing wrong with that. Whatever aspects you're into involved in this case, you know, go with it. So, anyways, lots of hyperlinks. Everything is kind of hyperlinked in there, so always check that out. And got Eric Nelson's occult hint section. Just let's see what's on that one. It's been a while. Oh, okay. I just put Eric Nelson's thing because I did make a few videos, little short videos. Guess they're not on here. Oh, they are. Okay. It's just one on there. Or is that the whole thing? How long is this? There should be like 3 of these here.
October 30th, 2014, there was a journal entry. It said, Kamel got raptured today, period. She's still here. It was hard to hear when I first listened because there was some background noise in the room. I didn't realize there was anything on here.
What is it? I just told you. I just told you. What is it? I loved you. Of course you have. We're decided. You don't understand. But you will. Thank you for loving me. Of course, sweetheart. I found her too. I cried. I want you. Please come with me. Please come with me. There's nothing left here. I want to live here.
There's another recording here of David right after this vision happened of going into a room and trying to explain right away what Kamel had said and that's here too. It was hard to hear when I first listened because there was some background noise in the room. I didn't realize there was anything on here.
1:48 p.m. 30 October 2014. I was just getting back from Home Depot with a bunch of wood to build the compost bin. Had lunch with Coma, and suddenly she began to shake and weep and howl, as if like someone had died. And she sat down. She said, "This is what rapture is." You gotta give me some time.
Can I just lay here?
Yeah. Do you want? I was just trying to remember everything.
Okay.
If you want to contribute, you can help me remember.
Okay.
You said you've come very far to find me, and Ronnie and I need to come with you. And there's not much time. Time is not of our world. And on some level, your soul has committed to mine, and we're gonna go somewhere. And Ronnie's coming with.
I'm just kind of skeptical, I'm like trying to make sure the source from whence it came was real. I don't know. I my skeptical side right now, my scientific side, my brain's questioning where it came from. It's like, oh, was it something to confuse us? Am I crazy?
Well, they really wanted her to look crazy, that's for sure, no doubt in that. The biggest problem, the biggest issue was trying to get a good transcript of that, and then you compare that to what Alec Wilkinson wrote in the New Yorker article, and there's some differences there. So anyways, I put everything that we had so far before we got the day one journal. I feel like some of the stuff in the journal may need to be included in there, but looking at page 88 of the Apple Valley Police Reports, one of the officers writes, "I did locate a journal which appears to be authored by David. The latest dated journal was dated September 10th, 2014 at 21:07. Now we know that there are later entries all the way up until November of 2014. So that's a little curious too, what happened with those. But I did not find any indications of what may have led to this incident. David appeared to regularly use marijuana with hints of use of mushrooms and alcohol. There were no entries in mentioning any violence between him and his family. David routinely made journal entries about the family activities, including his interactions between he and Kamel and Rania. So not really too much there, but of course, if you just watch Eric Nelson's hit piece on David Crowley, all they want to do is make him look crazy, and they want to make Kamel look crazy. So don't fall for it. Don't believe the hype. But there were 2 other videos. For some reason, those are not here. 2 other short clips. Unless I combined all 3 of them into one. I'll have to go back and check that. But let's see. Back to the homepage. So we talked about the paranormal. The Gray State scripts, if you're looking for the scripts too, we have 3 copies, one from June 2nd, 2013, and we have another one dated May 12th, 2014, and then a third one, which is labeled as version 6. So David also in the Day One Journal talks about one that is called version 2. So there's another one floating out there, probably the most current one, I would guess. And then, of course, we know that he was tasked to turn this into a TV series. So he should have been working on some type of a treatment or something like that, unless the Michael Entertainment Group, unless they were going to handle that. I don't know how all that was going to work. It's not really clear. It is pretty interesting. And I was talking with William Rail about this. I was on his show, Strange Investigations, on Twitch the other day, and I think we planned on just doing like a 20-minute show, and we went pretty far, pretty deep into it. But in that show, we kind of went over that too. It was like, well, we're talking about the scripts, and he doesn't really mention the TV series. He may mention the TV series once in his journal, but that's really about it. And so that was a little interesting, because I was thinking he should have mentioned it a lot more for some reason, but maybe not. So let's go to William Rail's Twitch. Let's see, type in Twitch and then type in Strange Investigations. It should take us right there. You may have to open up Twitch for, no, there it goes. Yeah, twitch.tv/Strange Investigations. So it'll probably be the most recent one here. It's about an hour. Yeah, we went about an hour and 46 minutes. So that was a good one. That was fun. It's always nice to chat with Will. Love working with Will, and he's doing some great stuff. And like I said, we have so many great researchers, so many great people behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, everywhere, who are just trying to kind of find out what's going on with this family and all that, and all of these documents that we get and documents that we keep getting. So, but you can always go and check out William. Make sure that you're subscribed to his channel, or if you're a group member,
to our second stream of the
or if you're a group member, then in the Justice for David Crowley and Family Facebook group, then you'll also get an update on that too. So you can see his timeline, and he keeps adding to it. And he's got now the phone records that he's working on, a nice long spreadsheet of those phone records. So lots of great stuff there. So make sure that you check out not only his most recent one with me, but some of his other past ones that he's been doing on this. And he also has a podcast that he started, Real News Now podcast. And so I know he has a video version up on Twitch, and hopefully I think he's on Anchor.fm too. So probably still under Real News Now. Make sure you check that out. Some other things that he's got. So if you look at, he does some gaming streaming too, but you can always go back and look at some of his other videos, especially look at the most recent ones that he's been doing on the murder of the Gray State series that he has going on, because he's been covering the phone records and the timeline extensively. So make sure that you check those out. You don't want to miss those. And hopefully one day we'll get him to put it up on YouTube, or else maybe we'll just do like a little stream here. I'll just, live stream it and just replay some of his stuff here, because it's good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff here. And I know my audio was very low during that show. So I don't know what's going on then it could be the free conference call thing too. But I may encourage him to switch to Zoom too, as long as this works here. It seems to work. As long as it's one-on-one, like you get like 30 hours free. So when it's a group call, obviously that's something different. So I'm gonna talk with him about that, about doing that in the future. So that is William Rail's channel. What else do we got here? Yeah, and so those are the scripts. You can read about those scripts, and you can also read the scripts yourself. So make sure that you do that if and when you have the time. I've been working with Ross Grossi, and he is also on YouTube, Planet X Records. So if you look him up, Planet X Records, let's go do that, because we've done some shows on the scripts, and I think William also has a Twitch stream on the scripts too. So, but Ross and I kind of did a couple of shows. We did one show on the 2014 script, and then we did one on the 2013 script. So let's see if I can go here. Planet X Records. There it is. Oh no, Filmworks, Planet X Filmworks. Right now, Records is the other one. I should be subscribed to that one too. That is the one. The Planet X Records is the one where you'll find an old 2012 interview that Ross did with David Crowley, actually. So you can check that one out on Planet X Records. If you go to Planet X Filmworks, there we go. Now subscribe to that one, and you can just look at all of the video. He's been doing some great stuff on the Zodiac case. But if you just go to the videos, and you can see the one that we did on the 2013 script about 3 months ago. And then we also did one on the 2014 script about 6 months ago. So both of those are up on his channel. And then he, Dan, I, and Gaz also did a show too. That may be on a different channel, because I'm not seeing that one here, but we did like a live panel, all four of us, talking about the Gray State script. But he's got some really cool stuff if you're into film, if you're into music. But they do movie reviews and things like that. Lots of great stuff on there. So make sure you check out his channel, Planet X Filmworks. If you want to learn more, I mean, I should add his videos actually to this article here. The simple truth just kind of goes through some of the basic things, the simple truth about this case. If you're ever kind of, then I have another article just for the Gray Stage podcast. So if you click on this, anytime that a new podcast gets added, all of that data will be added here. So you can always just kind of check this post out from time to time, and you'll always be able to find the audio version, the video version, and it goes all the way down to the bonus shows, to the archive. So everything will eventually be posted here on this webpage at thegraystage.wordpress.com. And let's see. Okay, then we have the extras. So if you're looking for some extras, still deciding what to do with those extras, because they have grown a little bit. And there's a lot of other things that have happened in the meantime. So we'll see what happens with those extras there. And we'll try to get that up and running. Well, we'll see. We'll see what's going on. I don't want to talk too much about that. But there was a lot of stuff that was kind of kept out of this book. And I'd still like to do something with it one day. If you just want to know what the book is about, you can read what is this book about. Gives you a little brief summary. Then the Gray Stage book is pretty much will take you to where you can look at the book, download it. So we've already covered that. If now I have finally sorted, if you go to thegraystage.wordpress.com, if you're looking for any reports, any videos, any photos, a video, I need to get that one up here too. Now that it reminds me. So I still have a few more things to get up here, but most of it is going to be up here. But I will get that up here, a link to the crime scene video from the BCA that we now have too. So you can always go and check that out. That is on my channel here right now. But you can check that out at any time if you want to. That should be under the Gray Stage series here. And it'll be like one of the last ones. It's a 14-minute clip. Maybe a little less, but it's a video clip from the BCA, from the Minnesota BCA that I pulled from Tony Floyd's website. And that one I think is worth watching. I'm not seeing it here. Maybe it's under some. It should be here. So I'll try to make that. We also have Judy Procknow's 911 call. I'll be adding that to it as well. I know I have it up here. It's a 14-minute clip. Maybe it was. I think how old it is. There it is. Gray Stage number 227. David Crowley crime scene video and photos. There's no audio to this. It is just specifically, it just goes through everything that we kind of have that we pulled from Tony Floyd's website there. There's the Minnesota BCA video of them when they first walk into the house. This is probably during the whole walkthrough, I'm guessing here. But so somehow Tony was able to get a hold of this, and we pulled it from there, and now everybody can see it. Obviously the bodies are blurred out, but nothing else is. The video is very grainy for whatever reason, but this is just a total footage video there. So it's, very, very short video that they have. You can see the police officers walking in the background, and you got these guys. And by this time the crime scene is already taped up. So the packages on the front have not been moved yet. We can see that as well. Nice little pan back shot. There's that light, that kitchen light that you can see through the window there. And driveway looks pretty clean. A lot of those footprints are going to be from the officers, from the neighbors that were moving in and out around there. So any footprints, I mean, if the bodies were there for that long, even if the bodies were there for 1 week, right, the footprints, anybody's footprints would probably not be there. I don't know, that's my guess there, but those are the presents, how Colin stacked them up. That's not how Colin found them, but Colin stacked them up like that. When he saw them, they were scattered on the porch area there. There's more footage of the crime scene tape that is put up there, a nice little pinwheel spinning. If you haven't looked at the house, what it looks like now, it looks completely different. It looks awesome. It looks really good. No fence on this side here, so not too easy. Again, it's not difficult if somebody did want to bust into their house or anything, like signs of forced entry. You wouldn't really need. You have we have some open space there. We know you have the open door. There's that fire pit in the backyard, but we know that screen door that we're looking at, the rear slider, was quote unquote 1/4 inch unlocked, opened. Obviously it's not open now. At this time the police had already been in and out of that house. They cleared the house, got the dog out, cleared the house after they got the dog out, and went and did some pictures. And so this is the photos. You can tell by kind of the time of day, because there's still light here. It's still very light. And now you can see that it's darker, and they kind of opened it up here. This is not how it was found, but I guess they opened it up just to kind of give you an idea of what it kind of looked like. It wasn't open up that much. So there's a lot of the poop, a lot of the stuff that you can see, things on the counters, the kitchen counters, how everything was found. You can see that the dishwasher is open for whatever reason. There's stuff there. You can see if you go back, all of those Christmas presents. I'm sorry, not Christmas presents. I'm actually going to go back there just to kind of show you. So what you see there, go back just a little more here. So this is the Christmas card that they had just created. We never got a really good shot of it, but they probably had sent this out to a bunch of people. The stockings are here. The stockings, it almost looks like they're being taken down at this point, right? I mean, unless they were killed before Christmas, and the stockings never got put up, but everything else did. This kind of makes me think they did enjoy Christmas Day together because of the way that these stockings were here. So just a guess again. You see the phone there, and then you can see where the laptop is. Looking at the angle from where the laptop is here, that does kind of look different than where it was found. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that is closer to where those footprints are, the bloody footprints. on the ground are. You can see it's still plugged in and everything too. But I just thought that was interesting about the stockings. There's a pen and a paper, a pencil and a paper out here, maybe even a cell phone right over here. But it was a Christmas card that stuck out to me. They did celebrate Christmas, and they had probably sent that out to people. Unless this is somebody else's Christmas card, it's hard to really tell if it's one of theirs or if it's one that they received from somebody else in the mail. My guess is it looks like it's theirs, but it's hard to tell. It is really hard to tell. But the Christmas stockings were one of the things that really stand out in this photo here, or in this video here at that point. Go back just a little bit. So I know it's grainy, and yeah, I think it's at the best quality here that we can get. But yeah, so there's the living room and Christmas tree, all that stuff. But one of the things we were looking for was the bullet hole up here should be right here in this area. And you could tell from this video, it's really hard to tell. But the dog cage is open as well. You can see that from the video. It backs that up. And I mean, now it's all going to be consistent with what the photos show, but then of course, as they get closer, you can see the blurred out. That's where the bodies are, obviously on the ground. The tube is stacked up. In other photos, it'll be on the ground, turned on its side. So lots of moving parts, lots of corrupted crime scene activity, possibly. So. You can watch this if you want to. Not, there's the Allahu Akbar on the wall. And just a strange case, strange crime scene. Remember they leave this house, that living room rug, they leave the house without a bullet that rolls out of the living room rug 3 days later. And then the bullet that is above the living room ceiling in the attic. So that all that is, stuff they do not find at this time. They have to come back later and find it. Just some of the stuff that is happening, that is going on with this, but strange activity. Whatever your view is on this whole thing, on this whole case, right? It's very strange, I would say anyway. So there's the prints right there on the floor. And there's where the laptop is. And yeah, just kind of gives you a panoramic kind of view, a better view, instead of just relying on the photos. Obviously the video tells a better story. I wish the video was a little more clear, but you get what you get. And this, so my guess is how we're seeing everything here is pretty much how it was all found. So you can see those photos and everything. And there's all of that. There's the daughter's bedroom. Zoom in on the toilet, of course, because that just looks wrong. Obviously, I mean, that could not have come from the daughter. I'm going to guess on that one, but there's how the weed was left out on the counter as well, how the bed looked, one or two little dog poops, but I think there are a lot of dog poops around, hard to film. The gun safe left open like that is another interesting thing. All the stuff underneath that gun safe at some point will be pulled out and photographed. So yeah, there's the weed, there's the phone that is just right there as well. Pretty odd to just leave all that out. And there's the master bedroom, bathroom. More toilet paper rolls or paper towel rolls. They're everywhere because you'll see them in just about every room almost. So it's pretty interesting. There's the open their eyes, submit to Allah now in the office bedroom. How everything was found. No, you notice there's no paper towel roll there, but later on it will be there. So I don't know why they're moving things around. The Bohemian Grove owl was above that printer hard to see there. And yeah, the camera just looks really bad. It's very fuzzy, blacked out. And there's Ranya's room. And it's got a really big bed, actually. So curtain open a little bit. Typical kid's room, aside from that. 5 years old, 5 years old. And so there's the body. That's Ranya's body blurred out. There's David's body right in that area there. They're all pretty close to each other. Maybe not exactly that close, but they're pretty close to each other. This is a hard video to watch. I don't recommend watching it too much, but for research purposes, for educational purposes, to understand more about this case, you want to have as much data available as possible. So you could see, I mean, it just looks like they were interrupted. You can see their stuff out on that kitchen table. Things down here look like they've been moved around, maybe even gone through with some of the boxes. There's Christmas paper wrapping right there that you can see in that front box right there. Maybe even some more Christmas stuff. So again, they may have been, I believe they celebrated Christmas, definitely. There's a little poop right there. And I don't know, I mean, I think they all lived through Christmas, but nobody knows for sure. We can only guess, we can only speculate on it, but the autopsies would tell the real story. The decomp, that's what tells the real story in this, about how long they were alive, et cetera, et cetera. There's the washer and dryer down here in the basement. It's actually a pretty big basement area, and David kind of built in little things, little rooms in here too. So lots of manual work, lots of things going on there. There's where the props were held. Lots of different props. You see the water prepping. David was had an application for Doomsday Prepper season 3. You can see all the movie props and everything inside of there. So we don't know what police knew or not, if they realized these were just movie props. But obviously, there's his army badge, Crowley. So it wouldn't take them long to figure out this guy was military officer at some point, or military army soldier. There's 2 cars, gray and the black one, and that is the end of total footage for the Minnesota BCA. Now there is the image that shows the gun over there in the upper corner. That's where it's supposed to show where the gun is, right next to David's body. So, and then Tony Floyd also had these images here. So it's just kind of weird that, again, maybe we asked the wrong questions for accessing stuff, but he got it. He got a lot of this stuff. So, I mean, obviously it tells you what type of skills that he has, because he can get this and we can't. This is just for public knowledge, just for public data here. You'll find all this stuff in the documents where it talks about these things, but obviously getting the visuals are really going to help you kind of understand it better and understand it quicker, and kind of see what is happening here. You can see there is blood here. I think there is a lot of blood on that at the crime scene. I think just bad cameras mixed with the living room carpet and the way it is, the color it is. It's pretty bad, but yeah. So close, you see a little rip there. Possible evidence of animal scavenging, but that's Kamel's. So they had a lot of clothes on for sure. And of course, it was weird that Kamel would have a Gray State T-shirt, and people kept trying to tell us how much she hated Gray State and blah blah blah. But there she is wearing a T-shirt. So I don't know. Take it for what it's worth. And they go through some of the tattoos. I'm not sure which person's tattoos these are, David's or Kamel's. They both have tattoos. I have no idea what they mean. If they're maybe Urdu tattoos, I really don't know. And so there's David's boxer. So it gets pretty gritty. It's pretty detailed stuff here that they have. So as far as these photos, you can see the big rip there on David's left side of his pants, and how bloody everything is there on both sides of the pants. tank top, t-shirt, the rips there. Could be from the dog. Could be, possible evidence of animal scavenging right there for sure. Yeah, there's some more decomp and blood mixed in there. I mean, lots of blood. Remember, she was shot 2, maybe even 3 times because there are 3 bullets tied to Kamel. So even though police are, the autopsies make it, their theory is, she was shot twice. Because of how badly the head is gone and everything, it's mostly quote unquote missing. There is a possibility she could have been shot three times. We've covered, if you've watched my recent series, the David Crowley series, episode number 2, we covered the bullets. You can see where the bullets are, 42, 43, and 44. Those are the ones that are tied to Kamel. And so you can see where it's kind of weird where some of the bullets, especially I think 42, I was like, wow, that's kind of far away from Kamel. On the other side of the couch. So, but here's some more of those tattoos. Crip Rick does some, he does some tats. So I had asked him, can you tell like how old the tats are and everything? And, just general questions I always ask and everything, but it's really hard to tell. And maybe even by what we're looking at here, can you get a good idea? If someone knows about decomp, knows about decomp bodies, how they decomp, looking at those tattoos, there's obviously body there. Does that help you? Does that help give an idea? And here's some of the fragments that were found. So these are not enough fragments for hands, for arms, or anything like that. Skull pieces you can see in that last photo. So these photos, this is the stuff that I need to get up on my website. But for now, you can access this video and you'll be able to see that. I guess it just goes right into the next one. Why not? All right. Okay, so that's all I wanted to show about that one. Yeah, so oh, Strange Investigation still playing. Cool. Why not? Let it play. And let's see. Yes, so all of the documents you're looking for. So I have the first section, Apple Valley Investigative Documents, the AVPD reports, the crime scene images, which are the 464 photos, the original 464 photos that we got from the Apple Valley Police Department. The transcript of Judy Crowley's the transcript of Judy Procknow's 911 call is right there. That includes Collins' 911 call, the transcript there. So we don't have audio of Collins' call, but we do have the audio of Judy Procknow's call. The search warrants, if you want to look at the search warrants, there's some interesting stuff in there. The property and evidence, what was removed from the house, you can look at that. David Crowley's notepad, if you just want to look at what the full notepad of what they gave us, some pages are missing. That could be because they were blank. That would be my guess is why those ones weren't labeled, weren't numbered or whatever. But the guns, what type of, all of the different guns that were taken from the house, you can find that. In David Crowley's office, there was a donor list in his printer, in the tray of his printer. So you can look at that. And of course, it's only, it's 100 or 200, but there's a side 1 and a side 2. So each page has 2 sides, but for whatever reason, they only scanned one side of it. So I don't know what that's about, unless that's how it was, unless that's how it came out of David's printer. That could be it too. The electronic forensic data is the next section where you can find David Crowley's MacBook Pro search history, which I do want to dig deeper into. These 4 things are some of the newer ones that I haven't really dug that deep into yet. So I'll be curious to kind of do that. And I enjoy doing it in real time during a live stream. There are people in the chat room, they may notice things I don't notice. And so hopefully we'll be able to do that soon. The examination report, that's another big one. The FEX report, and then the Vaughn report. So those are the 4 electronic forensic data items, some of the newest items that we've gotten. The next section is the Bca Investigative Documents, and you'll find the Bca Lab Analysis, which is the 40 page. That's the one that has all of the DNA record, the DNA results, the firearms results, the handwriting results for David's notepad, all that stuff will be in that one as well. BCA 485 and 488 is just like almost like a data dump from the BCA document. So Dan Hannon was able to get one of those, and I got the other one from the BCA. So I think Sophia also got the same one. She got and we both got paper copies, I believe, too. So that was fun. Nice to get a paper copy. The BCA crime scene images, 711 photos that are in there. Strangely, they do not include item 53 for some reason. So item 53 is not included in that set of the BCA crime scene images. Item 53 is included in the Apple Valley Police crime scene images, though. So if you're ever looking for just those ones, I believe they're in kind of a separate little section that you'll find in there as well. There should be like a folder inside of here that shows it, but I thought that was kind of strange that that was not included for whatever reason. So I may have to go, I don't even know where, like a separate folder. Maybe it's just that one. I thought there were two folders, but maybe not. Maybe it's just the one in here, unless this is the, yeah. So this is the only area that you're gonna find those very few. Very few. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 photos of where the item 53. You can barely see it here. So when the cleaners are in the house on January 20th, they are removing the living room carpet. And as they do that, a bullet rolls out of the carpet and lands here. This would be on the next to where the blood wall is here. You can see the blood wall has already been kind of painted. You can see that here in the upper left corner. But yeah, so that's the bullet. That's the mushroom bullet. And it's pristine, pretty pristine and intact. But that's all we have, just those 6 photos of it. So what else do we have here going down? David's day one journal. We have the one that the Apple or that Tony Floyd got. That is the redacted one. And then the less redacted one is the one that I got from my data request. So you have access to both of those. William Rail, talking with William Rail, he says there is some differences in the two. I think there's stuff that is left out of one, a little extra stuff in one of the other ones. So I have not gone through that extensively, but obviously if you have the time to, you may want to do that and check that out. The fraudulent document, we talked about that. I put everything in just one spot. So you can always look at, if you're just looking for the actual document, you'll find those here too. The autopsy reports for David, Kamel, and Rania. All of David Crowley's scripts, 1, 2, 3. Oh, this is my book, so that should not be here in this section. This should be like in the other section or something. And David's military records shouldn't be there either. That should be in the miscellaneous section. So I'll have to move those 2 down. But financial records, anything related to the financial records that we have, should all be here. Phone records, all 4 phone records are there. Anything related to David's Hollywood deal, including the contract that he had, that is dated 7/24/2014. That's what we were talking about, Will. So I don't know if Will's going to watch this or not, but I knew there was something special about the 24th, and there it is, or the 26th. We were talking about that. There it is. It's the contract, the real contract. So yeah, we were kind of wondering about that, and then there's the lawyer bill. David's lawyer bill is in there. His correspondence with his lawyer, which is a little eye-raising, I would say. So check that one out. His email exchanges with Danny Mason is also in here about the Hollywood, the rights, the film rights and the other rights, all the rights to the gray state. The release document is pretty interesting there too. That spells out specifically what David was willing to part with and what he was willing to give Danny Mason. And then of course, Danny Mason's response to the letter. So you have access to all of that. The other document, so this is where this will probably where the link to my book and the link to David's military record need to go in this area, because there's just other stuff I didn't know how to categorize this stuff. So Kate's obituary, which we really don't have much on that. It's really just one little page. And it doesn't really tell you that much, but thank you to whoever was able to find this and pull this out. She was 51 years old. She died on August 9th, 2015 in her home in Owatonna. Big family. Yeah, and really, really sad. Really sad there. And so you can read pretty much, this may be the extent of what I really know about her. That's really it. So she dies, pretty soon after the bodies are found, within months. They're sad. Yeah, about 8 months later or so. But you can see she has 9 brothers and sisters. Wow, look at that. Lots of them. So you can check all that out, and that's really it. I really don't know that much about her beyond that. So that's one of the things in there. David's exchange with Jason Allen, which I think is definitely worth reading. It's good stuff in there. So about what, three pages. I don't think I included this in my book either, but maybe some of this stuff should have been included. Kamel's last text messages, and you can see, who they are. They say who they are, who they're dated from. So, yeah, these probably didn't come from Kamel. These probably came from the person she was chatting with. And go all the way up to December, look at that, December 21st, right? So just a nice conversation with it. Nothing strange, nothing out of the ordinary, but all the way up until December 21st, she's communicating with people. So, there kind of goes a theory. David was secluding her from everybody, maybe from certain people, not from everybody. David's ATF application right there. So you can read that about the gun that one of the guns for film prop use only. So check that out. The Doomsday Prepper season 3, his application for that. And there's some good stuff in here too. So again, more stuff I did not get until after the book came out, or else I may have included that in there somewhere. What date is that actually, now that I think about it? Does it have a date? Well, see, he's still living at, or he's at least putting that as his place of residence, 9910 Drew Avenue. So that's still the apartment, strangely enough, where the alleged physical manifestation happened, according to Kamel's sister. So yeah, I'm wanting to find out Doomsday Prepper. When did season 2 end? And probably right around that time is when he filled this out. I don't see a date here. Yeah, I did not see a date there. It's too bad. So he filled out the questionnaire, and that would have been interesting to see David Crowley on season 3 of that. Kenneth Maines' findings. So Dan Hannon hired a guy named Kenneth Maines to investigate, to kind of look into the David Crowley case. And yeah, we can read that if you're interested. And then one thing we found, I forget who sent this to me. I apologize to whoever sent this to me, but thank you. This is crime scene staging and its detection. This was a good article here, 16 pages. Wow. And I found a lot of good stuff inside here, but about staging crime scenes, things like that. So if you just want to get some background on, crime scene staging, that may be helpful. It may be useful. And then, of course, whatever the newest podcast is, that will always show up right underneath all of those documents. So you can go quickly and just kind of check that out, and it'll go through all of the other ones. These are all pulling from Spotify. Since Spotify works well with WordPress, I was able to just kind of add those directly in here. So that's why it's all the Spotify ones. And then there is that nice photo right there. This is, strangely enough, again, missing item 53. maybe that's because they don't know where it was. Nobody knows where item 53 was. It must have been on the living room carpet somewhere. How they could miss it, I have no idea. Unless we must have rolled under the couch or something, I don't know, rolled under no, they moved the recliner, so they would have seen it there. It must have been found under the couch, which is kind of weird when you look at where Ranya's body was found, which is right here, and how far it is away from the couch. But yeah, sorry, I said item 42, the bullet earlier, but I really meant item 43, that bullet. Look at how far that bullet. So this 43 is tied to Kamel. 42 is tied to Kamel, and then 44. So 44 is close, right? 42 is pretty close too, but I don't know, 43, and it only has Kamel's blood on it. And so that's why people were early on, they pointed out that she was shot 3 times. And I was like, 3 times? How? They only say 2, but her blood is on all 3 of these bullets here. So yeah, so there you have, that's kind of a diagram to kind of get you started with this. That you can see exactly where every item was found except for 53. In the early diagrams, obviously they didn't have item 57 because they hadn't found it yet. So I did include the most recent diagram, which does include item 57 where it's found. And then the little key over here to kind of let you know, you can see the defect in sealing. So defect in sealing is here, and 53 is not too far, I'm sorry, 57. Defect in sealing is right here, and 57 is here. Isn't that interesting? So if there's a defect here, and they say, what was it, west to east, they were generally traveling the bullet. So it went west to east, but landed here, and the bullet is found here. Pretty interesting. So does that even line up where the defect is and where 57 was found? This defect over here is the defect that it goes into the basement here. And was at 45. Of course, 45 is probably not on here because it's in the basement. But in other drawings, they do have 45 on there somewhere as well. So this is the positions of the bodies. This is from Joe Cooksley's notes. And you can see exactly where they were found, northeast, northwest. So there's that. And then, of course, you can sign up if you want to get any updates on that as well. And that is the navigation process through the graystage.wordpress.com. So I want to thank you all for taking a few minutes out of here to just kind of help me with the Zoom. This is all new to me. So testing this out, curious to see how this looks. Obviously, I have really good sunlight, maybe too good sunlight right now, but it's not always going to be like that. This may be a pretty good time to record. And depending on where I put the camera, you can see, if I put the camera too far, it may, there may be some more glare or something like that. But so just wanted to share a few things like that, and stay tuned because we have a lot more things that are going to happen. I'll stop the screen share, but yeah, we have a lot more things that are coming up, and I look forward to sharing those with you. We are coming up on another, I don't like to call it an anniversary, but whatever you want to call it, the date when the bodies were found. Kamel's tombstone says she died December 25th, 2014. Obviously, we don't really know that. We don't know exactly when she died or when any of them died. But whatever it is, it's all coming up, and it'll be another year. And I do believe we've made a lot of progress here. And we just continue with God's will, whatever God wants us to do, man, you have to go with it. So, if God calls you to do something, to look at something, you better do it, because whether you want to or not, you're still going to. So might as well just go ahead and do it. And I guess that's about it. I'll shut this one down for now. New podcast coming out on January 1st. Hopefully we'll have a good panel of people. I've invited several people to come and join the podcast who have not been on the podcast yet. So that will be awesome. And yeah, we're going to record that very soon. And then we're on question number 13 of the 21 questions for Jim Gummert. So we'll see how far we can get. if we can get to all 21, and then whatever else we can get to after that, because there is a couple paragraphs after the 21 questions where Jim Gummert kind of explains his abrupt answers, and that pretty much, that's it. They don't want to talk about the case after that point. And they pretty much stick to it. Now, they've answered a couple questions since then. Obviously, if there's newfound information, they've been open to talking about that too. So we'll see what happens with the newfound information that we have here, and if they're going to actually dig deeper into the fake document and try to prosecute somebody for it. I think that's a pretty big deal, to create a fake document, and whoever did create that fake document, I think there should be consequences for it. So we'll see. Obviously, nothing I can do, right? When we're talking about legal consequences. So we'll see what the Apple Valley City Attorney plans on doing about that, if anything, and what type of documents we're going to get. Now that we know that other people like Tony Floyd have gotten documents that we don't have, we will see if the Apple Valley City is going to comply and give us the documents, or not. So stay tuned. God bless you all. Thank you all again for joining me here for this live test run. And until next time.